What's up, party people? This is Josh with Arrows Digital Media. Welcome to another episode of the Arrows podcast. We have Katie from Rolls. She makes most killer cinnamon rolls of all time. They will make you want to float and levitate. She's going to tell her story about how she started the business, kind of what's going on with Rolls and the evolution of it over the past few years. So stay tuned. So Katie,
yes.
Tell me about Rolls. What is Rolls? When did you start it? And kind of why? Like, tell me what even prompted the journey of starting your own business.
Okay, so I did not plan on starting a business. When I graduated from college, I had a dental hygiene degree. And so obviously Rolls is nowhere near that.
It's like actually like the antithesis of like clean teeth.
I want to clean your teeth and I put sugar on them. I have 3 children. My last baby was born with a heart defect. So she was born without her left ventricle and I was not able to work. And so that really changed, my path as to what the heck I'm supposed to do with my life. When she got to be about 1 or so, I was baking at home a lot and there wasn't much else to do because we were homebound.
Yeah.
And so I made cinnamon rolls and it was my grandmother's recipe. I grew up making them, super easy, but it always made so many.
So it was a family recipe.
It was a family recipe. Yes. Just the cinnamon roll itself. Yes. And so, we were eating them and there was a lot of them. And so I was like, shoot, we're going to be the size of a house if we don't stop. So I started sharing them with my neighbors. And
just for free, just
for free. Yes. Just like get them out of my house, and so, and I enjoyed the process of the baking. So that was very therapeutic at the time, but also I didn't want to eat all of them. So the neighbors got them. And one of my neighbors said, you should start an Instagram page. This is really, they're pretty good. And I thought, oh my gosh, what do I know nothing about business and nothing about Instagram really. I mean, I'm,
marketing,
pretty stupid. Yeah. But
that just wasn't your training, at least.
It was not my training.
Yeah.
So I figured out how to start my own Instagram page and it kind of took off from there. I think it was March of 2019. And so like the first Easter, I think I had like 10 orders and I was so overwhelmed. I didn't think I was going to make it, but I did. And then it kind of grew from there. And I got my first employee, I think 6 months later. And
but you were just doing it out of the kitchen?
Out of my kitchen with a Google Doc. Figured out how to use a Google Doc. I was so proud of myself. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm getting these notifications on my email. I've made it,
Yeah.
And then the pandemic hit. And so then, we shut down because I had the cottage food licensing. And so you couldn't do anything because I wasn't necessary or whatever.
Sure.
So we shut down and then I went ahead and leased some commercial kitchen space in Hoover and thought that I wanted to expand and do some wholesale, like dabble in that a little bit. And then we grew to Homewood and now we're opening a store in Vestavia.
That is crazy. 2019. So over the course of 4 years, you've grown from like 10 orders just like around the neighborhood to servicing basically most of Birmingham, right? Because I'm sure they're going to be coming to the new store, right?
I hope they are. Yeah, please come.
They will be coming.
Yes, please come to the new store. We're like today we did a catering for 100 people for Books A Million. And yes, and that was just like breakfast,
Wow.
One little morning. Yes, we've grown and I'm so thankful. I mean, I think it's really word of mouth. I think obviously social media and all of that has a lot to do with it, but the community here is so wonderful and they really do support you.
On the front end, when you first, let's talk about maybe like that first year where you were starting to realize that like, this is just bigger than my street of like homies that I need to like get like some sweet treats to. When did you feel like, okay, I think I can actually do this? Do you remember that feeling?
Yes. That feeling came because I got an order from a missionary who wanted me to deliver 50 pans of rolls around like the greater Birmingham area. And I was like, oh shoot, I cannot do this. Like that's too many, number one. And I'm by myself. I don't have help. And so that was the feeling where I was like, I think I can do this, number one. And I can strap Lila in the back seat. And so I can do those deliveries. but I'm going to need some help. So then I was like, I need some employees. So that's where that kind of trailed off.
That's when like you knew it was like, there's a demand for this. Did it stay steady after that? Or?
It did. Yeah. And then the holidays were right there. And so of course, like, I feel like people associate cinnamon rolls with Christmas or gifts or, that kind of thing. And then, of course, in January, you are going to be healthy for at least 3 weeks. And so it like trailed off, and then Valentine's Day, and so it's pretty steady after that with stuff.
But that was kind of like the tipping point.
It was. Yep.
Oh my gosh. Besides obviously the feeling of overwhelm of 50 pans of cinnamon rolls, like, did you feel anything else like besides the overwhelm, or was it kind of like, man, I'm really about to start something here? Like, was there any feeling of that?
I don't remember feeling any sort of like, I got this under my, I still don't feel like that. I feel like I fly by the seat of my pants literally every day.
Same.
I don't really know what I'm doing still to this day. Overwhelm is definitely a feeling. I think there was some excitement in there, but I'm just kind of winging it and just taking the risk and hoping it pays off.
No, I feel that 100%. Like, I think that's something that people will never truly understand unless you're in it. Mm-hmm. Not like how lonely it feels that like there's really no one else is gonna get it, but more so that like it's like a fucking roller coaster.
Yeah.
But you've gotta kind of love the thrill of the winging it, or else you're not going to make it. Like, do you agree with that?
I absolutely agree with that. I think for me, it's even a little bit of an adrenaline rush, which is so odd to say in baking.
That's what I mean.
It's like so odd. That's so weird. But this morning, I knew I had 4 hours to put this stuff together, and I had one person helping me. And so it was like the thrill of can I get it done? Are we going to make this happen today or what? And so it does. And then when it does pay off, you're like, oh my gosh, like
we did it.
We freaking made it, So anyway, I think that is true.
Have you gotten to a point now where you feel like you've had to systemize things, like put processes in place that are like repeatable? Are you in that stage now? Like, what was that journey like? And it's obviously ongoing. Yeah. Because like I've experienced it as I bring more people onto the team, become responsible for more people.
Right.
I can't just expect them. Well, you're a professional. You should know how to do it. Like, there needs to be some sort of process behind it. Like, what has that journey been like for you as an entrepreneur?
I think honestly, you have to remember and give grace because they don't know what they don't know. And I have to always remind myself, I think that cinnamon roll is pretty easy to throw some flour in there and all this, but one heaping scoop of flour, or is it like a tiny bit of flour? Like your scoop definition and mine is different. And so that has been interesting. So we weigh everything. Everything's a weight. So that has been a system that we have put in place. But also I think to your point, it's the training. It's all about picking the right personality when you hire them and making sure that they're going to fit well with your training methods, and I don't know, winging it every day and just trying to tweak that because it is hard. We have a lot of good processes, but then I think that everything can be improved. So
those first 2 or 3 people that you bring on the team are so important.
Yeah.
What has your learning been like with the team building aspect of it all?
That's a great
it's wonky,
question.
isn't it?
Yes, that's a great question. I've got my number one. Her name's Sydney, and
badass.
She's the best of the best of the best. And I hope that she never leaves me because I don't think I could function without her. So there's that. But besides her, I mean, I feel like it's her and I against the world most of the time. And then employee wise, they don't treat it like their own. And so I always have to remember that, it's my baby. It's not their baby. They want to clock in, they want to clock out, and they want to, and they want to go on with their bad self. And that's fine. Honestly, if you do it, whatever. But it has been interesting to see like how we've evolved on hiring and what we are looking for, because I think we really don't need you to be a baker. We need you to be trainable, and we need you to have a good attitude. If attitude for me is really everything. If you can accept, because I'm crazy and I like to have fun and I like to be wild, but I also want to work, and I want you to work, and I want you to have, I don't care if you want to look at your phone, that's fine. But like, don't wear your soft shoes when you're supposed to be, icing things, and the health department's going to come. Like, it's not that hard. One girl that wore a purple wig and her soft shoe slippers to work every day. And I'm like, babe, this is not going to work. And so we've had some turnover.
Yeah. I think, like you said, especially for a small business, talent, I feel like, is such a commodity. It's the attitude, it's the work ethic too. But also, I love that you've showed some understanding about, and I think it's like the millennial in us now that like, we're not a family. Like, this is not like a work family. Like, this is not like a word, like end all be all. Like, you're my teammate. I would love to do like fun stuff and like while we're here, but we don't have the same equity in this business. So I can't expect you to have the same like desire to crush it. Like, you're here to help, and I appreciate that so much. But I can't expect you. Yeah. But I feel like in like past generations, like that's been the expectation. It's like, you should work as hard as the boss, but like, you're not paying me like you're getting paid, dog.
That's
so I really try to bring that energy here. It's like, yo, at 5, you gotta go.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. Like, life's life. Life's gonna life. And I feel like our generation is gonna really do some good in the workplace with that mindset, I think so too.
Yeah, I agree. I think that for Sydney particularly, she's pregnant right now. And so she's able to work from home some. And I think that that's, such a neat opportunity for her to be able to still give what she's given, but we're making the accommodations that, is necessary.
Yeah.
So,
because life's gonna life. Like, I say that around here all the time. Like, dude, like, I trust, especially if you have the trust with the people, the work's going to get done. But as long as but we might as well like try to feel good about it along the way, Talk to me about the new location. Cause obviously you're not at the kitchen anymore. Obviously you're not at Homewood anymore. You're moving into.
So we're moving to Vestavia. Vestavia is a great family place for us. I think that we looked really hard in Homewood. We looked really hard in Vestavia and Mountain Brook, and we really settled on this place. It was fully renovated, which was, wonderful bonus. A Smoothie King used to be there. And so they had done everything and painted the ceiling red, which has been really fun to get it pink. But so there's that. But other than that red ceiling, it's been perfect. Vestavia's just got such a great family vibe and a community vibe that I love. And with Sanford right there, we're going to have some seating, and hopefully we can bring in some college kids and just hang out and have it a fun place to be. So
gotcha. That's awesome. When is it opening? Do you have the date?
So my goal date is May 16th. That's a Tuesday. We're going to be closed on Mondays because I feel like we need a rest day. So we'll be closed Sunday, Monday. Tuesday is the goal. We'll see if that actually happens. Our electricians finished up today, actually, but one of my ovens isn't working. So that's a fun fact. That's the goal. You know how that goes with construction and all those whatnots.
Oh, yeah. We had the same issue here. Like, they told us April. This was last year too, so that's when all the lumber issues were happening.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So they're like April, and then May, and then June. I'm like, oh, okay, dude, like let's go. Yeah. So I get it. How was that process of finding the space like? Like, was it a bit of a journey, or like did you know that was the one from the start?
Well, I didn't know it was the one. I actually looked at one in Liberty Park that I thought that I would like better, and it had more space for seating, but we couldn't work the numbers out, and I was a little nervous on taking that big of a hit. So we kept looking, and honestly, I thought I wanted to be in Homewood. And so we kept looking at that and looking at crunching numbers with renovation costs and all of the good things that come with, needing all the ADA accommodations. So once we found that space in Vestavia and it had everything that we needed and it was basically move-in ready, I thought, I don't think we're gonna find anything better than this. So I loved that we're right off 31. I loved, there's some really great neighbors in that same shopping center. So yeah, we just took the plunge.
I know the process isn't done yet, and I hate to be reflective before anything's done yet, because it feels like, you're counting your chickens before they hatch, right?
Yeah.
Getting an office space, like a physical space, especially like post-COVID where everyone's telling you to just do shit from home, right? Like it's like a very big step.
Right.
It feels very monumental. What would you tell somebody that is kind of in that space? Like, maybe that's the step right before you. Like, do you have any advice for them? Like, what's your biggest learning lesson, like taking this next step?
That's a great question. I would say that we took a big risk getting this space. It's got about triple the square footage that my production facility downtown has. And so the goal is growth minded and that we can grow into this space. We're not utilizing everything right now. And we're also going to start doing coffee. So obviously, we don't know a thing about that. So there's that. My biggest learning for someone else, I think, is just to take the risk and don't think about it too hard. I think when you overthink things, then it gets more complicated and you could really back yourself out. And I think fear could really make you not do it. I mean, if I thought too hard about it, I may not have signed that lease because it's scary and it's scary numbers. But I think that everything that is worth the risk, it's worth taking and taking the chance. So I would say do it, go for it, and just don't look back and don't think about it too hard. Just keep going forward.
Dude, bars. That's such a bar. Like my business partner Quinn and I, we have done so many things off of intuition, and it feels so weird to say because in business there's like the view on it that like everything should be analyzed, like make the most logical choice. All the numbers need to be crunched, and obviously you need to do the homework there. But I feel like there's something metaphysical. It sounds like stupid, pretentious philosophy or whatever, but it feels like something that's like beyond the numbers.
Sure. Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Absolutely. I call it my gut feeling too. I mean, it's like that gut feeling that,
it's inexplainable,
right. And nobody can really put your finger on, what does that actually mean? That's how I look for men too, by the way. But, you just gotta have that gut
That's
feeling.
episode 2 of Roles. We'll get to that later.
But it is that. And I think, that's exactly it. I mean, because if you don't have that and you don't listen to it, then you could be just stuck in the same spot forever. And then you're not, growing.
I feel like there's something spiritual happening there where it's like you see all the numbers, but then it's kind of something in your mind or your body or your soul where it's like, it's doing the risk analysis for you about like, what actually feels good for you. Me and Aaron, shout out to Aaron, the producer. We could look at the same numbers and be like, okay, what decision would you make? But based on her risk analysis and like risk aversion and my risk aversion, right, or like what's important to me, there's those two factors are so different. We'll see those numbers and come up with a different conclusion, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But doesn't mean she's better or I'm better. It's like, what's right for me.
That's right.
I don't think they teach that in business school. I didn't go to business school, so I want to know.
Me neither. Yeah, me neither.
But I doubt, like, how can there be a fucking textbook on that, right?
No, there's not.
You just have to do it.
And you've got to just follow what you feel, and follow what's right for you and how much are you actually willing to bite off to lose too. So
I'm glad to find a kindred spirit there because I know my mom was like that when I was going to quit my job to like start this whole thing. She was like, well, like, did you do this? Did you think about this? Blah, blah. I'm like, Mom, no, I'm here for the vibes, dude. I didn't say that. I would never say that to my mom, but something to the extent like, well, right, I just got to follow this,
I know.
That's awesome.
And if it doesn't work out, then that's fine too. Like we'll find something else, but it's worth the risk to take. As
of recording right now, it's May 2023. You've got a launch here shortly. In your ideal world, like what does the next year look like? What does Katie and Roles look like in the rest of this year, 2024? Like what does the short-term future look like for you?
That I first learned how to make espresso. Okay. That's very short term, and lattes. So shout out to Cali Coffee because they will be training us. We're excited about that. And then I hope that we just can open the doors and really embrace the community and build relationships with the city of Vestavia. And then I hope that our Homewood peeps and Mountain Brook and all of them support us as well in that community. And then I would love to continue to grow in the wholesale. I have applied for Whole Foods and Publix.
Awesome.
So we'll see about that. And so I continue to I feel like grow, and I also want to give back. That's a huge part of Roles that we haven't talked about, that we love to give back and love to bless our community, the Bell Center and the schools and different things with donations of Roles and, just giving people happies and brightening days.
That's awesome. Shout out to the Bell Center. They do such great work over there. We were filming a fundraiser over there and I just got to learn a little bit of what they do.
They're amazing.
It's so sick. Shout out to them. I was curious about the wholesale side. Like that's probably its own whole nother podcast. Some of my background was working on the merchant side. So
okay, yeah.
Really weird. How much of the business do you want like wholesale to be a part of? Like
I would think Eventually, I would like it to probably wholesale. I mean, it's kind of its own entity, I feel like,
Yes.
and almost going to be completely separate in the perfect world. And so I'm currently looking for a baker to just do the wholesale for us. And that's primarily just that focus. But I would say percentage wise, I would love it to be 50-50, but both kind of have their own thing. Right now it's probably, I don't know, 30%.
Trying to develop it as its like own like brand almost.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yes. We keep it completely separate for health department like regulations anyway. And so it would just be easy to for it to be its own animal and really grow. And I would love to be in Publix and I'd love to be in Whole Foods. And
you will be. You will be.
Okay, well,
it's just time.
That's right. Time. Okay, I like that. Yeah. And then I don't know. Yeah, be across the United States would be the best.
Hell yeah. Mm-hmm. Hell yeah. That's awesome. I think that's such a natural progression for the brand and the product. I'm so excited for you.
Thanks. Dude. We'll see.
What do you think? We will see. We're gonna see. We're gonna see this shit pop up. I'm so excited for you, dude. We are a media company, so I gotta ask, what are your top 3 media? What are the top 3 pieces of media that you're currently consuming and loving right now? Like books, podcasts, movies, TV shows. Like what you got going on right now?
So I'm reading a book currently, Believe It, by Jamie Kern Lima, and she is my favorite. She is definitely such an inspiration to me personally that she sold her company for, tons of money and she's giving back to the world now. So that's amazing. Number 2, I am watching TikTok.
Let's go, dude.
I don't know what's up with that, but it's so addictive and I'm learning so much about all kinds of the random things.
100%.
I mean, I know all kinds of, just knowledge that I didn't know before. So there's that. And then, Netflix. I'm sure there's
before you move on, who's your favorite TikToker right now? Do you have any channels that you're loving?
Oh gosh.
What's your For You page look like? That's probably the most intimate question you could ask somebody in 2023.
Steve Harvey. He's number 1. He's always on it. Every other one. I'm like, what are you doing? And then the doctor that is doing the metformin, have you heard about this? It's some sort of supplement that keeps you forever young. Apparently,
oh my God.
Very vain.
UCLA. Yeah, I've read about that.
Okay, well, he's on my TikTok. I forgot his name. Sinclair, Dr. Sinclair. Okay. And he's on there all the time. So apparently, I really want to be young, and I love inspirational quotes.
From Steve Harvey specifically. He'll make fun of your choice on Family Feud and then just drop knowledge, dude. Yeah, dude. Steve Harvey is a goat. I love Steve Harvey. Did you see that he has his own judge show now?
No.
This man has 8 jobs.
He really does work all the time.
Just
I did see that on TikTok.
He's weirdly I think he's overtaken. He's got to have overtaken Ryan Seacrest for most jobs in Hollywood.
Surely.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, whatever.
Shout out to Steve Harvey. Come on the show.
Please.
Come on the show.
Come on.
And then third, what else you got?
Third has got to be some sort of Netflix documentary. I love
What's the most recent one that you really dove deep on?
Oh gosh.
Because those things are killer.
The one about the concert that never happened.
Fire Festival?
Yep. That one. Okay. Yep. That one is I really loved that one actually.
The Fire Festival one? Yeah.
It's probably my favorite that I've seen recently. But then I like all the cocaine ones. I like the drug ones. I don't know why. I know that's so random.
Super
and all
good.
the killer ones, Unsolved Mysteries, I like those. What's the one with Joe? What's his face? I loved all that. Tiger King. I love that one. Yeah, I like all the trash. Mm-hmm.
That's amazing, dude. Oh my gosh. Well, Katie, thank you so much for the time. Thanks for joining us on this episode. I said it off camera, but we need to do the next episode in the shop when it's open.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna buy 3 cases and we'll do a taste test with the team. We'll just which one's your favorite? It's not gonna be is any of these good. It's gonna be which one would you kill someone else for? Because that's really the stakes we're living in when it comes to roles. But yeah, dude, thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Hope you had a good time. And but yeah, everyone, thanks for listening to this episode. Actually, before we go, is there anything else that you want to share with our tens of listeners? about the biz. About what do you want them to know? Like anything else that we missed?
Oh gosh. Well, first of all, thank you for having me on the show. I love it and I appreciate it. And I love all your tens of listeners. So thank you.
Yes.
Just try rolls and see what you think. It's all homemade. It's no preservatives. And, we try to make them pretty decent. And we just want to love on people and make, people's day a little brighter with them. So,
and maybe drop your Instagram handle and how can they contact you if they want to place orders, or what's the best way to get in touch with you?
So our Instagram handle is Rolls Bakery with then one of those underscores at the back. And then we also have a website, rollsbakery.com, and then they can call our store, but I don't know that phone number. So so Google it, cause it's new. So
yes,
we got a landline, believe it or not, they have those these days. And so yeah, call the store. You can place an order. And that's really it. Online. Yeah.
And everyone in Birmingham, come to the opening, or at least that first week.
Please.
Come support, hopefully mid-May.
Yes.
So this episode will probably come out a little after that, but
hopefully we'll be open.
Yeah, hopefully you'll be open.
Yeah.
At least by June, your ass better be in the shop.
Please.
Cool. And but yeah, so everyone, thanks for listening. Look out for the next episode. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.